Respect, nah, that's weak. It's fear you're after. You step in and they're silenced. No chat, no grin, no nod of approval, just hush. Let that silence suffocate them. See, words are pennies. Actions. They scream louder. But silence, oh boy, silence is a roar, my buddy. It's the kind of screech that haunts their minds after you exit. Or long after you're out. People, they're so easy to figure out. Fragile. Always yapping, trying hard to show off, to seem tough, to seem relevant. What a farce. The more they babble, the more they disclose their thirst for validation. They don't see it, but everyone else does. You? You're gonna do things differently. You're gonna just stand there saying zilch, not a peep. Your mug, like a blank slate. Vacant, ice cold inside. Let them fill in the blanks. You're here cause you reckon I can help you, huh? You want me to still on nabbing that respect, that fear, that power that makes folks take you seriously. Huh? You think you need more words, more tricks, more ways to get into their noggins, right? That's where you're mistaken. Darn mistaken. What you truly need, it's right there within you. Listen to this. You've been sold a bill of goods your whole life. Told that chatting, explaining, seeking respect is the way to get ahead. But let me ask you, how's that working out for you? Him? You've been prattling on, explaining yourself, playing the game. And where's it landed you? Nowhere, you know why? Cause words are for the weak, the desperate, and you don't need their approval. What you need is silence. Chilly, unyielding silence. Ever been in a room where no soul whispers, yet everyone senses that tension, that knot in their gut that just won't disappear? That's what you're gonna create. That's the kind of power you crave. The kind that doesn't lean on words or deeds, just your mere presence. They'll sense it when you saunter in. The atmosphere will turn dense, the room will go still, and they'll be gazing at you, pondering what contemplating, what you're scheming, and you won't say a thing. Let's set things straight. People, they ain't concerned about you, not truly. Oh, they'll grin to your face, shake your mitt, make like you're crucial to them. But the second you turn away, they forget you exist. That's the truth. And that's where your strength lies. When you cease caring about them, when you cease needing them, you'll transform into something they dread, something they can't regulate. You've been playing by their rules. You've been striving to fit into a system that wasn't crafted for you. No, sir. You've been following the script, believing that if you play nice, if you do everything right, you'll earn your due. But the world ain't like that, nah. The world ain't bothered about what you merit. It's only bothered about who's ready to seize what they desire, sans seeking permission. That's where silence comes in. When you halt the chatter, when you halt explaining yourself, when you halt reacting to every single thing they do, you'll realize something. They're scared of silence. They're petrified of what they can't grasp. And the less you disclose, the more they'll fear you. Ponder on it. How often have you opened your yacht solely to rue it later? How often have you defended, endeavored to justify your actions, solely to realize it didn't alter a darn thing? Every word you utter is merely another chance for them to spin your words, to use your own voice against you. But if you remain silent, if you let the quiet wield its power, you strip away their might. You leave them with nicks. Now you might be thinking, but if I don't speak up, how will they realize who I am? How will they respect me? That's the trap they're hoping you'll fall into. They want you to trust that you must yell to be heard, that you must scrap for their attention. But reality is, the quieter you are, the louder your presence booms. You ever spotted someone saunter into a room and immediately seize attention without uttering a word? That's no fluke. That's command. That's power. It's the way they carry themselves, the way they eye everyone around them like they're in charge. And it's not just about being quiet. It's about what that silence signifies. When you keep mum, you're announcing to the world that you don't need to elucidate yourself, that you don't care what they think, that their views, their judgments are irrelevant to you. And that chills them. It scares them because they need you to care. They need you to play the game. They need you to respond, to interact, to validate their presence. But when you refuse to offer that, when you stay there devoid of emotion, expressionless, silent, they start questioning everything. And that's when you triumph. Because the truth is, most folks are feeble. They're insecure, frightened, ceaselessly hunting for validation from others. They chat cause they fear the quiet. They react cause they don't know how to cope with stillness. But you're gonna do things differently. You're gonna be the person who doesn't need to talk to make a mark. You're gonna be the one who stands amidst the storm and doesn't waver. Let him chatter. Let him prattle on. Try to provoke you. Try to garner a response from you. You won't give them what they want. You won't rise to their level. You'll keep cool, composed, quiet. And they'll detest you for it. They'll loathe you cause they can't control you, can't predict you, can't crawl into your head. And that's exactly what you desire. See, silence is more than just the dearth of noise. It's a weapon, a potent one. And when you master how to wield it, there's zilch they can do to thwart you. They'll dread your presence, not on account of what you utter or what you do, but on account of what you omit to say, what you neglect to do. They'll be petrified of the unknown, of what's brewing inside your head. And the beauty of it is, they'll craft their own nightmares, their own fears. You ever notice how folks prattle more when they're anxious, when they're scared? It's cause they don't discern how to handle the quiet. They don't know what to do with the silence. And the longer you stay hushed, the more they unwind, the more they unveil their own frailties. And that's when you pounce, not with words, not with deeds, but with your very presence. You're gonna turn into the person who doesn't need to clench a fist, doesn't need to holler to be noticed. You're gonna be the one who strolls into a room and everyone senses you before they even spot you. And when you depart, oh, they'll be discussing you long after you split. Not thanks to what you said, but thanks to what you didn't say. Now this ain't no cakewalk. It demands discipline. It demands fortitude. You'll long to react, long to speak up, long to defend yourself. But you gotta resist that urge. You gotta be mightier than them, mightier than your own emotions. You gotta remain calm. Stay steady, stay silent. 'Cause each time you do, you're amassing might. Each time you decline to interact, you're weakening them. And here's the punchline. The harder they push, the more desperate they get. They'll attempt all they can to provoke you. Taunts, threats, even violence. But you're untouchable. You're beyond it all. You don't need to validate yourself to anyone. You don't need to justify your existence. Your silence is all the evidence they require. Sooner or later, they'll crack. They'll snap beneath the strain, under the burden of their insecurities. And when they do, that's when you've triumphed. Not cause you fought back, not cause you argued or stood up for yourself, but cause you remained silent. You remained in command. And that's what chills them to the core. But don't confuse silence for weakness. Nah. That's where many err. They reckon if you're not yelling, not arguing, not retaliating, that you're losing. But let me enlighten you. Silence ain't surrender, it's strategy. It's allowing the commotion of the world to glide past you while you stand firm, unshaken, like a bastion amidst a storm. You're not ducking out of the brawl. You're opting for a weapon more perilous than fists or words. 'Cause silence? It severs deeper than any slur ever could. It lingers. And that's where your authority stems from. When you compel them to doubt themselves, compel them to feel small in the face of your tranquil determination. Here's the piece they'll never grasp till it's too tardy. Silence begets fear. 'Cause folks are scared of what they can't foresee, what they can't dominate. And when you halt reacting, when you halt playing into their games, they'll forfeit control. They'll fret. They'll spiral. 'Cause humans, they necessitate reactions. They necessitate feedback. They crave knowledge of your sentiments so they can feel secure in their snug little bubbles. But when you remain cold, inscrutable, they'll drown in their own insecurities, their own paranoia. They'll kick off questioning themselves. What is he pondering? What is he plotting? And the longer they're kept in the dark, the more it gnaws at them. You see, silence is a reflector. It compels them to discern themselves, their fears, their vulnerabilities, mirroring back at them. And that's the splendor of it. You don't have to vocalize a syllable. You don't have to raise a finger. You simply stand there, stoic, hushed, and allow them to demolish themselves from within. Let him disentangle bit by bit. That's how you come out on top. Not by fighting their skirmishes, but by luring them into fighting themselves. And trust me, that's a battle they'll never conquer. You see, in this realm, the noisiest soul in the room ain't the toughest. The one who babbles the most, who boasts the most, who makes the most din, they're the frailest. And they're trying to persuade themselves and everyone else that they matter. But the one who stays close-lipped, the one who doesn't sense the urge to substantiate a thing, that's the person who wields true power. So hush up. Halt the reaction. Halt playing by their rules. Stand firm. Be still. Let your silence talk for you. Let it transform into the thing they dread most. And when they ultimately grasp that they can't break you, that they can't domineer you, that they can't infiltrate your thoughts, they'll tremble at your feet without you uttering a single word.